Gen Z is about to be the first homeless generation of all time, bro. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Like, I just seen a statistic that said 50% of all young adults under the age of 30 is living with their parents, bro. And I know that that includes people that's going to college and things of that nature. But if you really think about it, bro, that also extends to people that's no longer in college. And let me tell you why. It's because the average life of a 20-something-year-old, like if you in your 20s, this is how things are about to go for you, bro. And if you've never heard this before, bro, I'm about to put you on game. You go to college for 4 years. You get you a degree. And honestly, it don't matter what degree. It could be a Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Sciences. It could be a STEM field. It could be a liberal arts degree. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. You get out of college. You try to hit a home run in the job market. Boom. You're hit with the reality that you can put in 100,000 applications. And it's not even that you get an interview and then you just get into. You're not even getting an interview, bro. You're not even getting an interview. Because you shortly realize that you are in a job market like never before. You are in a job market competing with hundreds of thousands of other kids your age, bro. Right? And then here you are trying to figure it out. Your parents is yelling at you because you living with them. And they like, you need to get you a job. Yo, your generation is lazy. They love to say that. They love to say how lazy the young generation is. Like they didn't have a part in raising us. Like boomers didn't raise us. Gen X didn't raise us. You guys are lazy. Brother, what? But anyway, that's besides the point. You apply to like thousands and thousands of jobs. You maybe land one, possibly two interviews if you're lucky, right? And let's just be optimistic. Let's go the good route. Let's say you land a job. This job is genuinely the worst experience you have ever had. You get there, your manager sucks, coworker sucks, but it's okay because you gotta start your career somewhere. Everyone starts from the bottom somewhere. And you slowly start to realize the politics behind this. You slowly start to realize there is no movement. There is no upward movement. There is no company loyalty. They will axe you in a heartbeat, in a second. There is no, oh, you did well. A promotion is coming. No, they're going to exploit you for your resources, right? Especially nowadays because AI can do 80% of this shit. And that's what they're doing. They're axing a lot of these high-level, white-collar positions because they know that AI can just replace them and do the same thing, right? So your job is already in jeopardy. So you start to realize, like, holy, this is the worst work environment I've ever worked in, right? I can't stand these people. It's corporate, it's fake, whatever, okay? And then what ends up happening is you're like, I gotta work somewhere better. This can't be life. There's no way. I'm 20 something. There's no way they want me to work for 40 more years being this unhappy, right? So what do? You decide to go and get a master's so that you can delay being a bum for a few more years. You get your master's. You get out of school. Job market's even worse. You thought it was going to get better. It's gotten even worse. You have your master's. You're trying to make ends meet. You'd apply to McDonald's and then you get rejected. You get rejected from McDonald's with a master's degree because you don't have the proper work experience. Do you see how fucked up this whole system is, bro? Because what I just described, like, I just described somebody's reality. Somebody watching this video, I just described your reality, bro. And that's the best possible outcome. At least you got a position at some point. You had your foot in the door and just realized, yo, this shit definitely just ain't worth it. The juice ain't worth the squeeze. Never has been, never will be, right? And yet they say Gen Z is lazy. This generation is lazy. Young people are lazy. That's been such a blanket statement for fucking years. They were saying that when the millennials was coming up. The truth of the matter is that entry-level jobs are no longer entry-level, right? Because these companies do not value human beings. They don't value you. What they value is money, right? They don't want to hire new grads because they know that if they hire new grads, they're going to have to pour resources into training them. They're going to have to pour resources into getting them up to speed. They're going to have to bring them into their ecosystem. But people are very change averse. They don't want to change it around. They want to keep the same people around. Right? They don't want to have to bring in somebody new. Right? They don't want to bring in new ideas because somebody might come in and say, hey, let's actually give a fuck about what we're doing rather than just trying to chase money, right? They don't want to. They like being in their comfortable little cubicle just doing the same shit every fucking morning. So no, they're not gonna hire you, bro. I'm sorry, bro. You're just not getting hired nowhere. And understand that these companies all use the same shared AI systems, bro. The ATS, it's not just one company that you got rejected from. Did you know this? When you put your resume in the system, you're actually getting rejected from thousands of companies. Thousands of companies at the same time. They all use the same system and they can see that shit. And guess what? These hiring managers, right? I mean, is a hiring manager even real? That shit is like a fucking unicorn. You meet these hiring managers and they'll always come up with these scenarios and stories about you and not even knowing who you are. Gen Z is lazy. Oh, these hiring managers are genuinely in their 50s, 60s, 70s, bro. And they were living in a completely different time, extremely out of touch with reality. They think that, oh, well, if you just put together a good resume and give them a good fucking firm handshake, how about you handshake these nuts, nigga? How about that? Handshake these motherfucking nuts. Because there are thousands of qualified applicants. I have applied to jobs that I am well overqualified for. Well overqualified. Guess what I hear? We are no longer hiring for this position. It's because 90% of these jobs are just ghost jobs. They're not hiring. They're not hiring. They're actively trying to cut back because these companies are struggling too. They can't pay you. These niggas is broke. They're not trying to pay nobody. They're not trying to pour more resources, bro. They trying to lay more people off. They cutting people off. So what they do is they put out these ghost jobs to signal like, oh, we're growing as a company. They ain't doing shit. Oh, our team. Fuck your team, bro. But anyways, what ends up happening is Gen Z gets all the blame, right? And this is why we really gonna be the first homeless generation, right? Because that's just, the job market is just one aspect of it, right? The economy is just one aspect of it, right? We know that the wages are not moving up with the goddamn with inflation, bro. Right? We know everybody living at home. I ain't even gonna lie, my nigga. Everybody living at home, dog. You living at home, you feel bad. You feel like shit, probably, bro. And I get you, bro. I get you. Nobody want to be at home with their parents all the. Listen, I never thought I'd be living with my parents at age 25, but here I am. But here I am, bro. And here you are. Here we are in this shit together. And I'm gonna get to a possible solution in a second, but I just have to say this too. I actually just saw this TikTok, and this is the third reason why Gen Z is gonna be homeless. It go job market, economy, and housing, right? So I've seen somebody on TikTok, right? Obviously it was an older woman, probably Gen X or a boomer, and she's trying to give advice on housing to young people, right? So this is what she fucking says. Get this. This is so funny. This is so hilarious. She said, okay, this is how you can get a house and make money off of that shit. She said, get an FHA loan, right? Now, FHA loan, you're going to have lower interest rates, lower down payment. I don't really know too much about it, right? I did like some very, very light research, but I know there's always a trade-off. With anything, this is what you got to learn about life. Anything in life, if you get a loan or something like that, bro, financially, know that there's always a trade-off. Always. Low interest rates, you probably got some other shit going on, like there might be some other requirements because there's also a low credit thing too. You can do it with low credit. So they're probably extremely predatory in some way. They probably got some kind of rules, some kind of regulations, some kind of stipulations on there. I don't know, but there's nothing in life that they want to just give you for free and it's just easy. There's always some predatory shit. If it sounds too good to be true, probably is. But regardless, that aside, this lady said, get an FHA loan, right? And you can put $20,000 down on a house. That's $500K. Now, that alone is out of touch because did you know that the average price of a house is like $600,000 nationwide? I live in a very expensive state. I live in Cali. If you're not willing to get buying a house that's $700,000, you're cooked. That's the median house. That's the average house. The average house is like $700,000. Probably closer to $1 million these days, brother. Probably closer to $1 million. And don't even talk about the area you want to live in, because that's just houses in Cali in total. You want to go live in a hood? You want to go live in a hood, bro? Nobody want to go live in a hood. Yeah, I can find a house for $200,000 if you want to live in Watts. You want to live in South Central LA. If you want to live on Hoover Street and shit, probably that should probably even $500,000. At least. So, but put that aside. Put that out of touchness aside, right? Because that's always what it is with these fucking boomers. That's always what it is with these fucking Gen X people, bro. Oh, you guys are late. They're always out of touch. But anyway, let's keep going. Let's keep going, right? Let's keep going. Put $20,000 down on this $500,000 house, right? What did they say? Basically, long story short, I don't even remember the whole shit. They were encouraging people to buy 2 properties, right? It was like, oh, you and your partner, whoop-de-whoop, whatever. Anyway, they were encouraging you to get 2 different properties, rent one out, right, as an Airbnb, right, and let that pay your real mortgage, okay? That's what it boiled down to. And the reason, and see, on the surface, it sounds like a great idea, but it's also an extremely selfish idea, which would be okay, but that's exactly why we have a fucking housing crisis right now. That's why can't nobody afford shit. It's because all of the houses have that, like that exact strategy has already been done by the older generation. And that's why we have nowhere to fucking live. And that's why BlackRock was able to come in and buy up all the shit and jack up the prices. Every house is a goddamn Airbnb. Every house is owned by BlackRock or whatever, one of these fucking companies. Right? And so and so what that means for us is that we have nowhere to live unless you are willing to put out an ungodly amount of money. An ungodly amount of money. Good God. Let's put aside the amount that a house usually is, right? Let's say that you were gonna put $20,000 down, right? Where the fuck are you gonna get $20,000 if you can't get hired? You gonna take out a loan to take out another loan? Because basically, I mean, that's what a mortgage is. You paying back this loan, right? That's why you work with the banks and shit. So you gonna take out a loan to put a down payment on it? You finna save up 20 bands? How you gonna save up 20 bands when you ain't get a job? How you gonna save up 20 bands when how sway? Right? So, and I mean, there are definitely ways to do it. I'm over exaggerating a little bit. You can always save up your money, invest, right? But my point is that this shit is not as easy as these older generations make it seem. They trying to say we're lazy. That's just a blanket statement. That's a cover up for the fact that they fucked up the economy and don't want to take accountability for it. This whole shit is just completely crooked, out of whack. And the sad part about it is shit is never going back to how it was, bro. This is a new norm. This is the new reality. So as far as what we can do about this shit, I know that in the past I've said and other people have said like, oh, have a business on the side and all that type of shit, bro. At this point, my nigga, do what you can. What can we do? Do what you can. And it's so crazy. I brought up this before, bro, but like they tell you when you're a kid, you could be anything you want to be. But it's no longer about what you want to be. It's no longer about what you want to be. You genuinely have to do what you can. You guys to get it. We all have to get it out the fucking mud right now. Genuinely. You got to get it out the mud, bro. You don't have another option. You don't have another option, brother. Your only option is to find a way to bring in multiple streams of income, bro. It's funny because I feel like a few years ago, bro, I used to clown people that was like, oh, you know, or not clown people, but I used to look at people that were like, oh, I'm doing day trading. I'm doing my own business. Oh, I do sports. I used to think these people needed to go and get real jobs. Or maybe not a few years ago, like a while back, bro. Like when I was graduating high school and shit, bro. And, you know, I realize now that that's just not the way. It's not the move. Because here's the thing. Even if you do have a real job, that shit is not cutting it. Right? Because they'll tell you, oh, go into the trades. It's so funny how, like, things switch up, right? Because when I was growing up, right, I know they was telling millennials, like, learn how to code. They was telling me, like, yo, you got to go to university. You got to go to college. You have to go to college to get a degree. Now a degree means absolutely nothing. Coding doesn't mean shit because the whole IT tech, you know, world is fucking cooked. I mean, it's just as cooked as every other industry now. There is no real lucrative industry, really, besides, like, blue collar and, like, shit that requires years and years of school and putting yourself in years and years of debt. And And so then it's like, what do we do, right? Oh, get into the trades. That shit still requires experience, right? And it's like, bro, these trades that are available are genuinely just like the worst possible. Like, welding. You want me to be a blacksmith or something, bro? Like, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? But at the end of the day, dog, the shit is so bad that you genuinely just have to do what you can. I'm not even gonna cap to you, bro. Lie on your resume, bro. LARP. LARP on your resumes. LARP in your interviews. Just LARP. Genuinely just LARP, bro. Because what else is there to do? What else is there to do? You feel me? But anyway, man, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Come on.